welcome back to ReCall The Midwife. We are a fan podcast, and every week we watch an episode and we talk about it. I'm Becky.
I'm Alex.
I'm Jen. A reminder that this week's episode deals with pregnancy loss and miscarriage, grief, and family estrangement. So if those topics are ones you'd prefer to skip this time, we understand and hope you join us for the next one. In this week's episode, the staff at Nonnatus house is feeling the effects of Phyllis and Trixie's absence. Lucille has returned to work, but everyone is concerned about how she is doing, and she is struggling with feelings she is trying to suppress. Matthew encounters young hippies living in one of his family's warehouses, and when he goes inside to meet the group, he sees one young lady is heavily pregnant. Her life choices conflict with her parents' wishes, but after she gives birth with Sheila's help, she finds a way to connect with her dad again. Meanwhile, Sister Monica Joan gets caught up in superstition, and she seeks out a spiritualist for guidance about the future, but ends up helping the woman with her own health crisis. To coin a Becky phrase, short and sweet this week. I did not.
I like them short and sweet. Like, people have watched them before. It's absolutely fine. It's just, we're going to be going in detail. It's fine.
Yeah,
I love this episode. I just thought it was lols.
I did not love this episode. But I think, I don't know, I just thought, what in the GCSE is this acting with the... with
Which acting? Which acting?
No, not with the Raven. That was amazing. Sheila's scared acting was amazing. No, I'm talking about the hippies. What in the GCSE drama class is this? Like, oh man, you just gotta go with the drugs, man. Oh, it was awful.
I love the episode.
Every time they cut to the kids sitting on the couches and like just draped all over, in the warehouse, and like the main guy would say, he's like, well, listen, if that's the way you want to be, like, no groovy vibes for you then, and they all just someone was like cut to them and they were just like.
It made me feel a bit sick, if I'm honest, that Jojo. Call me Jojo, man.
Well, it kind of took Matthew down a peg too, because I was like, oh, he's in the room with these weirdos.
So let's talk about the opening scene first with the Raven in Nonnatus house.
Yes.
I just loved every inch of this scene.
I did.
Nancy saying, cover your eyes.
Cover your eyes. I know. She's like, I saw a film. It was birds. Alfred Hitchcock, or whatever she said. Yeah.
When
Sheila's actual shaking, her wobbling, it was amazing. I was like, that is some amazing, terrified acting.
Was it a trained raven? Was it an actor raven? Was there an actual raven there?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I reckon they'll have got one in. It's the BBC. I know how fastidious she is. Do you know what I mean? I feel like they've got something in that's trained, so they definitely won't hurt it. They would have just got a wild bird off the street into the studio, would they?
I didn't think they had just pulled a wild bird.
Oh.
I think they got an actor bird, yes.
What I meant by that is, are they just doing it CGI?
Oh, no.
Where they're ducking and then separately they filmed a bird?
Oh, I don't know. I doubt it.
Is there a bird in the room with them?
Well, maybe do you know who they probably spoke to? What was his name? The guy with the pigeons. And he painted a pigeon.
Oh, yeah. Here's what I would have thought more than anything is not that they got a CGI bird, but that maybe they had the bird on set and filmed the bird doing different things. But then, did you notice that like hardly ever could you see the actors and the bird in the same?
That's what I mean. Not that she's saying. I know, but I'm saying like they got bird in.
No, but I'm saying like what I think is that they got a real bird in.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
To do like bird things. Oh,
and then the actors did it, and then they spliced it.
Oh yeah, but that's not a CGI bird. That's just editing. That's just editing.
Oh, sorry for not being technically correct.
Well, listen, you have to learn the craft before you can comment on.
Also, when Fred turned up in his goggles and
loved it.
That was amazing. His outfit, I mean, again, stunner. Like my style icon. I'm so.
What I really loved about that scene as well is the way that Mojo was like, a bird in the house prefaces bad news, and then so Sister Frances being all positive and being like, no, sometimes a bird just wants to come indoors and all this, and then Fred's there with his big outfit on, and he's like, the old Grim Reaper must have someone in his sights.
Oh my god, I know. Although I will say, when she picked up the picture of Nonnatus house and it was broken, I'm not a very superstitious person, but I was like, oh. I did have a moment.
You can feel a bit ominous, but at the same time, she was like, this speaks of grief to come. We are to lose someone. And I thought, I know, okay, that's a bit much.
Well, you've already lost 2 people. I mean, you're down, 2 staff members now. Come on.
I don't think she means like that.
Not like that, but yeah, I know what you mean, yeah.
Now, me and my grandma were once sat in the kitchen, and a bird flew in, and it sat on a stool. Neither of us saw it fly in, but it sat on a stool just underneath the table. We were also sat at the table, and then it obviously started making bird noises. And then my gran thought it was me making noises. I thought it was her. So we kept looking at each other, being like, "What's going on?" And then we realized there was a bird in the room, and we had to then deal with that situation.
How did you deal with it?
God.
I don't actually remember what we did. I
Did
just
you,
remember.
open a window and run out?
Well, the back door was open. That's how it had flown in.
Right. Thing is, though, with stuff like that, it's like when something comes into your house, like a wasp. Like they come in through, you don't even know where they've come through. But if you took the whole side of your house off, that wasp
They
would not
still
leave.
won't go out. No.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised we managed to deal with it, knowing the two of us.
Well, I did think that. No offense.
But
I get so superstitious though. How common are ravens over here? I see either crows or ravens. When we went to Stonehenge, Alex, do you know what those birds were?
No.
Oh, you were going to find out.
I did find out there were ravens.
Right.
Yeah, because I text my husband, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were ravens.
Right. Okay.
I think they're pretty common.
Are they?
Yeah. We had a bat that came into our house once when I was a kid, and my dad was in the bath with the door open, right? Because it was, I don't know, the 80s. Anyway, it came down our chimney, this bat, right? And we were all like, ah! And it was tiny. You think it's going to be big, it's not. It was tiny. Anyway, I was screaming, my brother was screaming. Anyway, it went into the flaming bathroom upstairs while my dad was having a bath. All hell let loose. My mum, I'm not going to lie, my mum, you've all met my mum.
I cannot imagine your mum.
My mum isn't the most panicky person in the history of the world. Ever. She was a boss. She bossed it. She got this jug from the kitchen, right, and put it over the bat. We were celebrating. Then the bloody bat was tiny, got out the spout. We all ran out again. And then it went into the room that wasn't my room yet. So I must have been below like 11, because I think I changed that room when I was like 13. I went from the back of the house to the front of the house. And anyway, I remember my dad made me run into the room. He didn't do it. He made me run in, open the window as much as we could, and then run back out. And then the next morning... Your
dad was probably still naked at this point.
Well, my dad was also terrified. And anyway, I remember the next morning I went to look to see if the bat was still in this room. And I opened the door, crept through, and suddenly this bat went in front of my face out the window. Oh my God, it was horrendous.
Oh.
Then I closed the window.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God.
The trials and tribulations.
Yeah.
It looked like there was there's something in your... Is it a moth?
It's a moth, yeah. But behind the scenes, guys, we're serving the podcast. We're recording this podcast late on a Wednesday, which is an unusual night for us. But it's really hot in England at the moment, and the windows have been open, and I've had the lights on, and I've just realised I've just closed the window, and now there's like 3 moths on the wall.
Have you got the kittens with you?
I just put them to bed.
Oh,
you can't. I can't. No, they run all over the keyboard and stuff, Bex. So I couldn't have had them here running around. They keep play fighting and they're gorgeous. But next time I'll show you.
But also we really can't spend time just watching the kittens on the video while we're trying to record the podcast.
I mean, that's what I'm here for.
I just was stirring. I was like, guys, we can talk about this after we stop pressing record.
Yeah, I asked Jenn a question and I could just see Alex flashing her eyes at me.
Well, no, it's because we're on the video chat. We can talk about that on the WhatsApp. But if we're recording, let's record. Right, get back to it. Should we talk about Miss Higgins and her spiritualist church?
I was shocked at this. I was like, this was not the religious take on her that I was thinking. I thought she would be some like hardcore Calvinist and like ice cold baths and like cold tea in the mornings like is the only way to cleanse the spirit or something. I was so shocked. I was like, dang.
But when knowing what we know now, are you that surprised?
Yeah, I thought she'd be more like Sikh or something. Oh. Do you know what I mean?
She just lives so much in like the pragmatic, practical, grounded, like rules are rules, this is this, orders, like, I mean, to have this whole side storyline where she's like into all of this, I mean, sorry, but it was kind of like woo-woo type stuff, which I love woo-woo. I'm a very woo-woo gal. But
I don't think I'm Miss Higgins standards, but I think I would probably be... You would say, oh yeah, she's quite straight-laced, but you can't mess with these things. You have to respect it.
Are you saying you go to a spiritualist religious establishment?
No, she's saying she wouldn't. She's saying she's too straight-laced to go to a spiritualist church.
You don't mess with what you can't. Do you know what I mean? You've got to just...
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm up for messing.
I just loved the lady when Sister Monica Joan like got the name and number and she was like, okay, I'm gonna go over there. And then she walks
Mrs.
over.
Greenhalgh.
Yeah, and then the lady answered the door and she had this like turban on her head and she had this like dramatic like kerchief thing that was like hanging off one side of the turban, which we find out it's for a reason later on.
Look, did
But
anyone
she's just
get
kind of very
Professor Quirrell
theatrically.
vibe?
Yes, I
It was very Professor Quirrell from Harry Potter, yes. And she was like holding it kind of across her face, but also not opening the door all the way, but also like, why are you here? Leave me alone. But then like when Sister Monica Joan brought her a cake and she was like, well, actually, now that you mention it, and I was just like, oh my God, the cake got him again. I'd fall for it.
Well, do you know when she was talking about her spirit guides never stopping talking? She's like, it's not a gift, it's a curse. Did either of you think, oh, she's schizophrenic?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Oh, no, I weirdly was like, oh, she's a real psychic. I was like, that's what a real psychic would say.
Because I was like, there's something wrong here. She must be schizophrenic. Like, she wasn't. You were right. She was. You might not be. I think she might have also been a bit of schizophrenic.
Well, like I believe in mental health diagnosis, like for sure. Obviously, like that's no surprise about me. But I also do believe that people can be psychic. Like I do. No, I think it's rare.
Right.
I think that it's not very common, and I think people exploit others' wishes to have a connection to mysterious or like intense things that they really feel conflicted. But I do think there are really people out there who have the ability to sense or understand or see or interact with the unexplained. I'm just going to say
like
that
Whoopi
way.
Goldberg in Ghost.
Yes.
I mean, that's not real.
No, but that's
a movie, but
a dramatization of what's happening here.
But
this is also drama.
I believe that if I met a Oda Mae Brown in real life, that would be real. Yeah.
Okay.
Like did you go for a tarot card reading?
Yeah, it was rubbish.
Oh.
You know what I really want to do, you guys? Have you heard about aura photography? Where they take a picture of you and then when the film develops, you've got like colors and things all around your head and they can tell what your aura is.
It develops and there's like a figure standing over your shoulder.
There won't be, Bex, because there isn't such a bloody thing. And also, it reminds me of
I'm sorry,
I don't know why I'm all about Harry Potter, but Luna Lovegood, when she's like, oh, there's nargles around you.
Do you know what? I just need to check that my back door is locked while we have this conversation because it's freaking me out.
I really want to get a picture of my aura, you guys. I would love to. I know I probably won't because
my problem is I think I'm just so like I don't think I'm necessarily a pessimistic person, but I'm not.
You're not a pessimist at all.
I don't think I'm an easily gullible person. And I
don't think I'm easily gullible either. I just don't think you're open. I'm joking. I just think you're just like, no. But you know what's crazy? You are such a big Halloween gal. I would think you would be all into like ghosts and ghoulies and stuff like that.
I really hope loads of dead souls come and speak to me. I don't think that. I'm just like, oh, it's cool. It's really fun. We have loads of. I love metal. I love black. Do you know what I mean? It's just.
Oh.
My house is secure. Although, would a spirit actually need a locked door? Isn't going to stop them.
A spirit's probably stood right behind you right now.
Don't, Alex. Don't. Don't make me put the landing light on because I've got windows open.
Wait a minute, hold up. Do you really think a landing light will stop him?
Alex, stop it, because I'm not going to sleep tonight.
Wait a minute. Here's something legitimately funny though. I don't know how I ended up in this place, but like every once in a while on TikTok on my For You page, I'll get served like a girl who's gotten a spooky story from somewhere and she'll tell the spooky story on her video. And last night I got one and I won't even say it because I don't want anyone to be scared. Bex, you is what I'm talking about. But honestly, it did sound spooky, but like one time this girl talked about this like time travel story that she had and then there was like a follow-up that she had like in the video because she was like, oh, I've edited and it's the whole thing. Girls, I'm just telling you, like, I don't know.
Basically, you've got nothing to worry about, guys. You've got absolutely nothing to worry about, Bex. Now, unlike Mrs. Greenhalgh, seamless. So she lost
spirit guides, constantly yapping.
But the side of her face is
well, she lost the family as well, for starters. A husband in El Alamein, and then a son married someone in the high church. And basically,
what does that mean? What does that mean?
No, I didn't understand this because she says she lost. So she says that it's not a gift, it's a curse. She got accused of fraud and ended up in court. And then she says that she lost her son in Bow Street Magistrates. Now, but then she says about him marrying into the high church.
No, she means she got done for fraud at Bow Street Magistrates, and that's the day.
And then got her son taken off it.
No. He married someone else, and she was all judgy because she's high church and she doesn't like spiritualist stuff. She's like church. She's like, so say you've got the Church of England, normal religion, but then there's high church, which is like much more strict and posher kind of religion.
But she said she lost her son in Bow Street Magistrates
Yeah, because
Court.
she means when she was done for fraud, he had washed his hands of her because of his wife. Yeah.
I thought he was younger and she had him taken off her.
I mean, she could have meant that, but I don't think that because she said about the fraud first. So I was like, she means that she lost him because of that. Because also, why would he have a wife at like 7?
I didn't understand why she talked about. It didn't make sense, and that's why, because it doesn't make sense.
Well, just made sense of it for you. So anyway, so she's not got a family, and she's also got this. What did you call it? A scarf.
What do you mean? Scarf, like kerchief or something.
Yeah. Oh, kerchief. Oh, like a handkerchief, right? So
that's what I thought.
Yeah, so she had that on her face, and that was to cover these scars. And so Mojo's like, please show me your face. And she won't. She's like, I'm too ashamed to show you my face. For good reason. Oh, my Christ.
Oh, you know what?
Girls. Alex, she's got nothing to be ashamed about.
Well, she doesn't, but also.
If she showed it to you, you wouldn't be like, oh, you should be ashamed.
I wouldn't say you should be ashamed.
Well, you wouldn't say it to her face, but... You wouldn't say it to her face, but I mean, it was pretty gruesome. Girls, full disclosure, I watched this episode late last night because lots of reasons. Work has been crazy. I was exhausted when I came home. Then I just like plain forgot. And then at like 9:40, I was like, oh my God. And then I realized I had to watch the show. So I did watch it, but I kind of accidentally closed my eyes for certain parts. And one of them.
This is why Jenn thinks that she's had deleted scenes. She's actually closed her eyes for a second.
Oh my God, can you imagine if that was really the truth? No, this is why I usually watch it like...
Listeners, think it might be.
This is why I usually like to watch like right in the morning when I first wake up on the weekend because I want it to be fresh, but I remember how gruesome it was from when I watched it originally. This was obviously a rewatch for me. And I was like, oh, holy hell. And so, yeah. I was kind of glad I missed it, honestly.
Was it rodent ulcer?
Yeah.
Oh, what
form of skin cancer? Then this sister really annoyed me. She was like, I won't go to the hospital. I just thought, you know what, guys? I'm sick of people saying they're not going to get treatment. Just go and get bloody sorted.
I know. It's gross. And also, like, by the way, what you're doing isn't working.
And when she says it gets itching, she just can't help itching it.
Oh, is Becky? Don't do that. It makes me feel ill. So
it's terrifying.
You guys, this episode of the podcast is going to be so unhinged for our listeners. Oh God! But anyways, so
missed the appointment that they sorted out for her, right?
Yeah, well, that's a classic. Yeah, people don't go to the hospital. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And there's the way she's like, "There's nothing left in this life for me. I am without purpose, with no one to mourn me." And then Mojo brought a son in, and I was a bit like, I was conflicted, guys, because I was a bit like, well. Is that good? Because he just abandoned her because his wife didn't want him to see her.
Well, but what did he say, though? Because if he brought her in, like, was he just going to be like, oh, hi, Mom, and then basically ditch her again because the wife still had to change her opinion?
No, he wouldn't have come if he was going to ditch her again.
They did say, actually, that she changed address, didn't they? So maybe he had been trying to get in contact at her old address. It's not like she's going to be on the phone.
Oh, I get you. Yeah. So her son was the reason why she went to the hospital, basically.
Where's the crazy clairvoyant? Do you know what I mean?
I mean, you'd think if she was a real psychic, she would know that her daughter-in-law's opinion had like gradually evolved over time, and she could reunite with him.
No. Well, you say that, but she only deals with the dead. So I think the dead would tell her.
So as long as
Anyway, so she needed surgery and radiotherapy, but then our son had walked in. She was. I'm not afraid I have a purpose now.
I thought it was lovely that the song came back and you two have just ruined it.
Yeah, sorry.
But you know what? Didn't you feel like her vibe was so Monica Joan vibe? Because I feel like Sister Monica Joan is such a cuckoo, like woo-woo person. And this lady was just equally as cuckoo woo-woo.
I think it's good for Mojo to get a taste of her own medicine.
Well, you say that. But can we just talk about, like, I don't want to fast forward the whole scenes of the whole film, the whole show, but Mojo at the end was like terrified.
No, she
was though.
She saw when she first saw when Sister Monica Joan first arrived at her door. Did they touch? And then she flinched, and she says to Sister Monica Joan that she did see something unfortunate at Nanata's house. Do we think Mojo knows what she saw, or do you think it was just this?
I think she's just scared.
How
so
could
it's
she
just
know
a warning?
What she saw?
Because
I think it's a warning.
Mrs. Greenhouse could have told her. But
Surely
I think we would have seen that scene.
I mean, every few episodes.
Not Jenn. She was having a nap at that point, but
it feels like every few episodes, Nanata's house gets condemned and they move to another Nanata's house.
Well, this is a legitimate argument. Like, if Sister Monica Joan had been paying attention, she would know, like, nothing. Though I mean, no offense to this lady, but like, nothing this lady was intimating was new information. Like, this was like Sister Julienne has been pacing the halls in like deep anxiety for, at this point, years about the fate of this, organization, and trying to hold it together in London, and like, getting
Also,
blasted by
guys,
the council and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, this
Sister
cannot
Monica
be
Joan
new.
is not a young lady.
Also, do we actually know what was ominous and has come to pass?
I don't think it's been revealed yet, right?
I do, but let's talk about it off. We don't want to,
because some pretty horrendous stuff has already happened. Barbara died.
Something really horrendous is going to happen.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Is that this episode? This series?
No, I think it's got to be next
special.
Christmas special upcoming. Yeah.
So the end of this series Christmas special.
Yeah.
Right. So something is coming.
Wow.
Wow. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but also, well done. But there's loads of like things where you can just interpret. That's the thing with this kind of stuff. I don't like it because it's like you can interpret stuff, and I think it really does.
I'm nodding.
Yeah, I think
letters.
But it really, really does kind of prey on people's
vulnerabilities.
Yeah, vulnerability, superstitions, worries. And like I've been to see, because I quite enjoy stuff like this, like it's quite silly and stuff. But actually, so me and my husband went to see Derek Okora before he died. And he was a clairvoyant, and he was quite big over here. I don't know if he was big in America.
Did he see it?
He could have been. I don't know that name, but he could have been.
Say that.
He was big. But he said, "Oh, I've seen Ian." And my husband had a hamster called Ian. So he was like laughing, saying, "Oh, I wonder if it's my hamster," right? And he came over to us and we were like dying laughing because it was really embarrassing and awkward. And I was like, and my husband was like, "Oh, just talking about my hamster." And it was really awkward. But like a girl on our table was like proper crying because like she'd lost someone. And I just thought, this is actually really cruel. Do you know what I mean?
I know. Well, and look, I mean, for all of my earlier comments, like I'll say this, like I won't get deep here, but I'll just say, like, as listeners know, like I lost my father a number of years ago, and like for people who, and it doesn't matter how long, I mean, grief is its own journey, but like for people who have a real vulnerable feeling about something in their lives, whether it's a loss, whether it's, anything, it could be anything. If you are in the right state of mind to want so desperately to connect with something that will give you comfort about that issue or about that person or whatever the situation is, this is really where I feel very conflicted about people who are kind of in this quote business, because, like you want so badly to believe you will find like any way to make it like relevant to you, and you know what I'm saying. So it's a touchy one for sure. I do get that.
Yeah, and I just do feel like Sister Monica Joan is quite vulnerable as well. At the same time, again, I'm shocked at Miss Higgins. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I know. I that to me is the biggest reveal of this whole episode. Is like,
she's just so sensible, isn't she? And this just seems like a bit like, I've never used the word woo woo, but I love it.
Yeah,
but it just seems a bit like hocus pocusy, woo woo-y. It just seems like nonsensical for her. It just doesn't seem like it's something she would normally do.
But although Mojo was seeking out a spiritualist, once she saw that she had an issue, she was very on it. She was clear-headed. She was, do you know what I mean? Everything that we don't like about her, she was the opposite.
Well, that's why I felt more for her, but yeah.
I'm glad she actually got to help someone, actually. Stopped a bloody moaning for a second. Right, now.
Well, look, I mean, it came to a good outcome because the lady did get help, right, that she needed.
And she got a son who'd abandoned her for years.
Oh, these bad sons abandoned.
Yeah, but she has got grandchildren.
Yeah.
Unless he's abandoned them as well.
Hopefully not. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. That's not funny, but hopefully
it wasn't
not.
A hilarious joke, Jen. It's fine.
Hopefully not. Okay, what should we talk about next? Should we talk about our GCSE grifters?
Oh, God.
Can I just tell you though, like your feeling about their attitude and acting and whatever. And look, I say this with so much love for the costume department on this show. I love the costume department on this show, and I think everyone
I
looks.
think we've probably written the same thing. Go on.
I love it, but when I tell you these outfits that they were wearing this episode, to me was ridiculous to the point of hilarity. Like
Same.
this was as if it was like they went to a Ren Fair, trailer that they had, and they picked out all of it was like a purple velvet, vest. It was like the skinny little shawl scarf thing that went around the neck 5 times and then hung down with fringe. It was like the peasant sleeve, shirt. It was the bell bottoms. It was the boots. It was
bright orange.
What was her name?
Everything was
Clover.
clean. Yeah, but everything was so clean and bright colours. It's like you're living in a squat. You live in
they haven't done laundry
no
in God knows
water.
how many times. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what these people should have looked more like? Okay, call back. Remember when Sister Monica Joan had that mental episode and she walked to her family home and there were those people that were living in the house? Remember?
Yeah.
They should have done 50% what they did and 50% what those people were wearing.
Yeah, they went a bit too all in, didn't they?
Yeah, it was honestly, you know what I thought, and I don't begrudge this at all because I love it, but it was like the costume people just wanted to have fun, and they were like, we're having fun, y'all. They were just going to town.
Do you know what I hated? Sorry, I've written very annoying in massive letters.
What?
The music of the squatters. So, they've got the composer who does all the amazing music all the way through.
Yes.
And there's twangs for different people. So they've got Sheila's music and they've got Lucille's music, which she's got a twang for because she's from Jamaica. They had this music of the squatter. I can't tell you how annoyed it made me so annoyed. It just made me really angry. I think I'm very hormonal this week.
I actually was so on Matthew's side, literally from the second that he showed up to that building, because he was like, I own this building. And he was like, oh, sorry, man. And then they were having a conversation.
Everyone calls me JoJo.
Well, and then he was having a conversation with him out the window, and he was like, "Oh, do you like my artwork? It's the wheel of life, dude. Are you copacetic or what?" And then Matthew was like, "Okay, you're vandalizing my property," and he was like, "Listen, creativity cannot be contained. Why are you such a square? Be chill." And then he was like, "Okay, well, how long are?" Oh, the line that annoyed the hell out of me was when he goes, he's like, "Listen," he's like, just let us have our thing. We're not gonna be here that long. We're just passing through." And he's like, "Okay, well, how long do you think long is how long are you gonna be here?" And he's like, 10 years. And everyone's like,
he said a decade, and then everyone has never heard a better joke in their life.
They were dying. They were dying.
It's obviously to convey that they're high, but my God. I put here, what in the GCSE drama acting is this? Worst acting ever. And it's not the whole lot, because Clover I thought was good. It was
Clover
the girl in
JoJo.
JoJo. Yeah.
Clover did a good job, but it was insane to me because and then it was and then Matthew was looking at them like, "Oh my God, are you kidding?" I think he even says 10 years, and he's like, "No, man. We're just pulling your leg. We're just joshing with you. We're just having a rip or whatever."
When they first introduced Clover as well, they obviously they pan out and she's pregnant, and they're basically talking about, how do you want to have the baby? She's like, I want to have it at home surrounded by friends. And then JoJo's being like, the man, there's nothing more natural than having a baby. It would help to be fat. I just thought, whatever. And then
is it his baby?
I thought it was JoJo's baby.
Yeah.
I did think so, but he was basically acting this baby just came out of nowhere and it belongs to anybody and everybody, and
yeah, but they're all together. That's the whole point.
And that's what I think he'll think. It's just a communal baby.
Well, and then she's like, do you think we can stay somewhere with water and we have to do laundry and can I maybe have a mattress or something? He's like, I don't know. He's like, why are you being such a square? While you're harshing the vibe. And I was just like, she's 9 months pregnant. Oh my.
To be fair, he's an art student, Jenny. He sees bigger visions. It's just a baby, man. So Matthew goes to see Violet. It's like, a group of beatniks, dropouts, hippies. I don't know what you call them. If anything, I did love the fact that I did like the contrast of Matthew versus them hippies, because it just made him look really, really square. Loved it.
I know.
And Violet's
I liked him so much more this episode. Violet
was like, you can talk to the police or talk to them to yourself. Thanks, Violet. That's great. Thanks for the advice.
And then she ushered him out of the shop. I just loved it.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, bye-bye. Well, and then she finally he's like, okay, that wasn't helpful. Who do I really need to talk to about this? Adoy Sister Julianne, obviously, because...
I'm a law student. law student. No, he's not a law student at all. He's a flaming barrister. He works in the law. He knows so many judges. He knows so many police. He knows so many people who work in law who can talk to him about this. He'll know specialists who deal with this kind of thing. I know it's a new and up-and-coming problem because of the housing shortage, but at the same time, he will know people who know how to deal with this. He's a very high-up landlord. This will have been an issue that's happened before and they will have dealt with. Absolutely ridiculous. He's going to bloody Violet Buckle, for God's sake.
Well, but also think about like when he and Trixie like first like quote reconnected and she threw the doll at him down the stairs because he was so ashamed of the lady who gave birth. I mean, it's like, okay, you've dealt with people living in buildings that you own that are kind of inhabitable. Like honestly, there was a minute for me, not a minute, but like there was a thing for me where he was saying like, oh, you're in my building, you can't be here. And I thought it was a building that used to be housing and then they cleared it all out because they had to do all these renos and like, you know, maybe even knock it down or something like that.
Yeah.
And then he says to Clover, whatever, he's like, this is a warehouse. This was not built for people to live in. And I was like, oh God. And I was like, okay, well, why are you like, it seemed like he was just going to let them like just go along for a while. And I was like, why are you even bothering I'm like, call social services. This woman is pregnant in a building that is inhabitable. Like she is putting her unborn child at risk. Like that is quote the easiest thing you could do. Like even if nobody else, but talking about it, I'm getting upset. But like I wasn't in the moment, but I was at the same time. You know what I mean?
But if he calls social services, they would provide her with a flat. She's not going to go. She wants to be part of that hippie community.
Well, she wants to be until the rubber meets the road. And she's like having labor pains.
Joan Jones is like a dickhead, man. And he's like, oh, and they're like, ah. And then Clover comes out and is actually like speaking sense. And she's like to Matthew, look, kind of pleading with him, like, look, please, can we just stay until after the baby comes? And that kind of, to kind of appeal to his like, you know.
Oh, I forgot about that part. Yes, she does do that. Yeah.
So then in the meantime, Susan's dad comes, speaks to her, saying, oh, you can come home, but he won't call her Susan. And she's like, no, I'm Clover.
He won't call her Clover.
No, he won't call her Clover.
Yeah, she's like, no, I'm Clover now, I'm not Susan. So he won't go, she won't speak to him and all this. And he's like, oh, for God's sake. Like, and also, how old's Clover supposed to be, do we think? 18? 19?
18 or 20 max. 18 or 20 max.
Yeah.
Like, she's got to be young.
At
she
this
said
point,
her son died when she was 16.
Yeah. So maybe like
and
2
I don't
years.
know how recent that was.
Yeah.
This strikes me as a rebellion. I'm not getting like mid-20s from this girl. Yeah.
No. Matthew then gets paraffin. Who thought he was going to burn the place down?
Did not.
I definitely didn't see that part.
I 100% was like, oh my God, Matthew's going to burn the place down. And he was like,
oh
yes,
he wouldn't have done that.
I feel really bad because it's getting quite cold, so I'm going to get paraffin heaters. And I thought, oh my God.
I loved
paraffin heaters. Fred, I get you. Yeah.
I loved Fred trying to send him somewhere cheaper to buy paraffin.
Yeah, I do. I'm terrible for stuff like that, probably. Allegedly. So Clover is still trying. Right, she's there with a mattress trying to nest. Right, so she's dragging a mattress.
That mattress.
But what annoyed me was she's trying to nest, getting ready for the baby. Right, because she wants the place ready for the baby, but she's ignoring and midwife trying to help her at the same time. Because Sister Frances is told about this pregnant woman by Matthew, so she tries to go around to like see her. And I just thought that's actually really annoying because you're trying to do one thing to help the baby and then another one, and she's obviously really tense. Oh, it's just
Well, and she's clearly, I mean, it's not a cult. I don't want to say it like that, but she's clearly like bought into this nonsense in a really, really intense way. And I think in a weird way, even, you know what this is like, girls? Okay. This is like Meg and Maeve, where Meg, whichever one was the pregnant one, is like so all in for the nonsense of their life, like the cuckoo bananas of their life. But when the rubber meets the road and that baby is on its way, and Sister Evangelina's, words are ringing in her, I'm doing all these hand gestures right now. Sister Evangelina's words are ringing in her ears, and it's like, look, when it comes down to it, you're the one who has to give birth. You're the one who has to take care of that baby.
When there's a baby hurtling towards your vagina.
Yes, the clarity of that moment will hit you like a ton of bricks. Yes, ma'am, absolutely. And I think Clover is like she's trying to stick with the game plan and JoJo's insane, maniacal, dumb jokes. But at a certain point,
she's also looking at a photo of a mum and crying and stuff, so it's obviously hitting her hard. And that shows like she's doing a big rebellion thing.
Well, and look, she clearly wants to feel connected. She clearly wants to feel like she's a part of something special. She obviously is struggling with like what family is and loss and da da da. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Clover then goes into labour, right?
During, what would you call it? It's not a rave.
No, they're like, he had a projector and they were listening. They basically didn't say the
high.
word drugs, did they? They just said hi like twice, I think.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
So Matthew's there, and so she's been screaming. It was actually, I felt really bad for Clover because she was obviously screaming to try and get help, and no one heard her because they were all downstairs listening to terrible music and getting high. So Matthew comes with these paraffin things, and it's like he hears her, so he goes upstairs and he panics and gets an assassin. Now he rings an ambulance first, but the ambulance couldn't find him. Why didn't the ambulance just stop and turn around?
No. He rings the artist's house first.
No, he rang an ambulance first, and then he rang.
No, but the midwife was already there when the ambulance went past.
No, the ambulance. No, he rang an ambulance first, and then he rang for.
No.
Oh, it doesn't even matter. I don't even know why we're so.
Because I thought Sheila
said
he rings Nanata's house. He speaks to Sheila.
Uh-huh.
Sheila comes, and then Sheila tells him to ring for an ambulance.
Yeah, I just thought he'd done it before as well.
Because then when he comes back, she said,
fair.
we're not going to need an ambulance.
Right. Well, anyway, Sheila going into the squatter's house made me absolute howl. Like, if you're going to get anyone more prim than Sheila going in the bloody house.
Well, also the combination of them, Sheila and Matthew, because Matthew, when he first arrived and was just walking through everybody off their face.
Can we also talk about the fact that Matthew gave the worst directions on the phone to the ambulance, by the way? Like, it's a building, and I think it's in the distance. I thought, you know the bloody address, mate. It's your building.
I will say, for somebody that's supposed to be so educated and important and rich and resourced and everything like that, Matthew is often like, just like, what? Wait, what?
He's a man of the law, for God's sake. He knows how the country's run and everything. He knows loads of stuff. He'll be thinking outside the box, and there's him just like, what?
Well, the thing is, look, I hadn't actually thought about this before, but almost every time we see Matthew, he is getting schooled. Like, literally, like, he doesn't know anything
He's
about...
getting schooled in poor, though, Jen.
But that's the thing, he doesn't understand the building when he first sees Trixie again. He doesn't understand dating when like Nancy has to give him the what's up. Like, he, there's just like there's just so much. I mean,
he has literally been married. He'd know more than most about that.
And I'm sorry, like, you're telling me that a man that looks like that doesn't know how to do...
He probably doesn't need to be fair, Jen. They just flock to him.
Yeah, everyone does it for him. That's why he doesn't know, because everybody does stuff for him.
Like dating.
That's, I think, very accurate.
Yeah. So anyway, the baby's born, right? Now, at first, we think the baby's born, you hear a cry. And then Matthew and the hippies screamed because they were off the face. Matthew wasn't exactly bloody subtle.
No, he wasn't. He says, oh my Lord.
So the baby was born with gastroschisis.
Oh, another one of these weird mysteries.
And basically, the baby was born with its intestines out of the body. Now, this got me. I'm going to say this now, and I'm not having a go at Sheila, but she's like, I need some grease-proof paper on boiled water to Matthew. Like, you're in a bloody squat. You're in a hovel. Where the bloody hell are you going to find grease-proof paper and boiled water?
Especially at that point, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh no.
It was really traumatic, to be fair. Clover did really good shaking and acting.
But he comes back. He comes back with boiled water and greaseproof paper. And he says, this is all I could find. And I've just got a note saying it's amazing he could find anything.
Yeah. Like, genuinely, like, I thought he'd come back with, like, drugs and a record. Like, just absolutely ridiculous.
Now, I don't know where I've seen babies like this born before. I think nowadays they just cling film them.
What?
Was cling film invented in 1967?
If they're in tests, I mean, we do have medical professionals listening. They take the baby and they just wrap it in their stomach in cling film so it holds the intestines.
They just wrap it like a sandwich, but you put in a lunch bag like a little burrito?
Yeah, but it'll probably be like thicker, like medical grade.
No, it's not. It's just cling film.
Is it really? Because cling film's really, really thin.
No, it's just they buy it at the grocery store and they stock up the hospital, Al. That's what they do. They just get regular.
I mean, there are different types of cling film because you can get cling film that you can microwave.
The same thing that you put your little picnic sandwiches in is what they wrap these.
I don't. I hate cling film. Hate it. Makes me feel funny. Just makes me feel funny. I don't like it.
You're not one of these people that are like, oh,
sorry, what's that with the spirit behind you? Sorry.
I love that you're not one of these people that's like, oh.
No, but there's certain things that people like, don't use cling film anymore because it's bad for the environment. But it's just like, we've gone so far down the road of using cling film, I don't think we can turn back.
No, we can. We can use like beeswax paper.
No, we can't.
We can if we can do anything to stop the planet. But that's not why I don't like it. I just don't like it. But I think it's bad for the environment as well. I use plastic bags. I'm joking. So anyway, they drive to hospital.
Questioning is so crazy.
Clover's got to go to hospital, so they drive her to hospital.
Oh,
now
little baby.
Matthew on that drive is thinking, what the hell have I done coming here tonight with some bloody paraffin? What the hell have I got myself into?
Yes, exactly. He's like, I didn't want any part of this, and I have walked right into it.
Yeah, but can you imagine if he hadn't turned up? I know it's fictional, but...
Well,
he cared more for that lady he didn't even know. Like, look, I mean, I think I just blasted Matthew a lot, but the fact of the matter is, he took care of that woman more than that stupid JoJo.
Well, it brings you back to JoJo being like, we'll all be friends together. What's more natural than having a baby? And him scream. Do you know what I mean? Like, it
you absolute dumb. Yeah. Honestly, she should. Oh God, what can we do to this man? He needs to be like on a deadbeat dad list, and like she needs to get child support out of him.
Well,
all he's gonna do is turn up on like the kid's 5th birthday, like face paint the circle of life onto his, left side, and then be like, "Oh, groovy dude," like, and just walk away. That's all he's gonna do.
Yeah. Well, I like the scene with Dr. Turner and Sheila actually kind of talking about it afterwards, dissecting, but it's a bit of a bad word. But I like the way she was saying at the time I was completely calm and in control, and then she just cried afterwards, and I totally understand that because like if there's ever been an emergency and stuff where something's quite shocking or whatever, you do feel like quite calm when you're in the moment, or you don't think about it because someone else is like, we had someone at work actually who I had to call an ambulance for, and it was awful at the time, but I was the one who was like, we'll do that, and then afterwards you just burst into tears because you're like, oh my God, that's happened. Not that I did nothing good, I only called an ambulance, but you know what I mean, like Sheila actually dealt with something
calling an ambulance is a big step, honestly.
And then Sheila goes to visit Susie Clover in hospital, and she brings her flowers, and she's like, what are these for? And she's like, you tested me to the limit and reminded me how lucky I am to be doing what I do.
I thought that was a bit off when she said that she tested her to the limit, because it made it seem a bit like, God, you were such hard work.
Same, but also the worst part of this was that she's naming the bloody baby Clover.
Yeah, it really is.
Poor kid. Has anyone met a Clover?
I actually didn't mind that name. I think Clover is kind of a cute name, honestly.
No, I don't.
I think it's good for a kitten.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's a sign that it's the 60s.
To me, that would be like a name that, like, by the time the little girl is an adult, she's like, oh yeah, my mom was a hippie, like da-da-da.
I tell you what, I did work with once, someone whose middle name was Dandelion.
You know what that sounds like?
Jamie Oliver's kids. Her parents were hippies.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like Jamie Oliver's kids to me.
Just also to close this one, I really like the fact that Susie's dad, because obviously Clover wasn't called Clover anymore, she went back to Susie, but her dad was with her at the hospital.
And I liked when she was giving birth and she said to Sheila, can you call me Susie? Because that's what my mum calls me.
Yes.
Oh.
I thought that was very touching.
Do you know, I like the
Sheila
name Susie
is the
for Babs.
consummate mum. Huh?
I like the name Susie for Babs, but we didn't use it.
Ooh.
I will say though, Alex, there's a lot of names you liked.
Yeah, true. It was on the list.
Well, isn't there? There's usually a lot of names people like until they decide on the real thing.
I don't think that's a shade. That's not shade.
You're like, you liked a lot of names. Like, well,
I had about 10 names. Yeah, Susie. So, shall we talk about Lucille?
Oh. Now, you were saying about the costume department. The makeup department did such a good job at making Lucille just look tired and broken down.
Oh,
I know.
Do you know what? The first scene where they showed Lucille and she was putting on a uniform, and I felt so awful for her because I just thought she'll be thinking, I know the actress won't be, but you know what I mean? The writing conveys that basically the last time she put that uniform on, she was pregnant.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that.
No, I felt so bad for her. And then there was saying...
I know I've been hard on Lucille, but I just feel terrible for her in this episode.
Can't imagine having to go to births after suffering that. And then she was reticent to attend Mrs. Singh's birth, like for very bloody good reason. And I just think, why the hell did they not put her straight onto district duties? Like, I just don't understand it.
But so we're jumping ahead a bit, but Sheila says Sheila noticed, we're jumping too far ahead, I'll stop.
Well, Lucille is basically trying to go back to work because she's saying to Cyril not to treat her like an invalid, right? And so...
But let's be real. I mean, she's not... I wish she had been a little bit more honest about where she was at, like headspace-wise. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but at the same time, when you're feeling like that, you're gonna be. Do you know what I mean?
But when
I
She's
she
trying to
know, but
avoid it.
like the thing
well,
is like this like toxic powering through that all of us have to do. Like I just and I know, I mean, I get it. I just oh God.
Yeah, but I think you're very in your feelings, you would say. And I think I'm kind of halfway between you and Bex. And I think Bex is the exact same as Lucille. Like Bex, no, I mean it though. I do think you would very much try and be like, I need to work, I need to just avoid it.
Yeah.
well, I will say, because I have been through situations, sometimes you are better just to distract yourself.
See?
It stops you from thinking about it.
Point proven. So
But when she comes back, I need to talk about this first, because everyone's obviously like, this is the first time they've seen her. Everyone now knows that she was pregnant because previously only Nurse Crane knew.
yeah.
She asks Sheila about Teddy Stein's school. And then Sister Frances speaks about when she was a child and she had to be like wrenched out of her mother's arms. Everyone looks at Sister Frances as if she's like misspoken.
Yeah. I
And I
thought
was
that.
just like, she wasn't talking about babies. I don't know. It just felt a bit.
Yeah, I thought the same. But then
Where,
I think it was more Nancy's comment that was, oh, they grow up so quick. And I thought, oh,
well,
that
no.
was a terrible
Well,
accent.
is that
Sorry,
just
anyone in
because
Ireland.
that just because you're so judgmental of Nancy?
Yeah, but I hate her, and I'm joking.
Now, I tell you
I really like Nancy. She's really grown on me. I do think she was a bit of a knob at the start, but I really like her now.
I tell
Nancy
you
has
who,
gotten a lot
knob.
better with time. Yes,
Yeah.
she has gotten a lot better. Nancy is kind of like Trixie in that way, actually.
now I tell
Yeah.
you who absolutely did misspeak. Sheila. Because she says to Lucille, I had a similar experience when I nearly lost Teddy, but you didn't lose him. So it wasn't
Yeah.
similar.
Well, I don't.
No,
It's not the same, but let's be real. Like
It was as near as Sheila ever got, right?
I mean,
I
the
think
fear that she felt was very, very, very real. Like I
Yeah.
mean, I don't think it makes her unsympathetic to what Lucille is going through.
but I don't think it's the right thing to say.
I don't also because Lucille very curtly said, thanks be to God you didn't. And then it was just awkward.
Well,
So
here's
it was
the thing.
like, yeah, you did kind of feel like that, but then you didn't lose your baby, did you? Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that's what she was trying to say.
I agree, but let's just think about it this way. Sometimes in life we say the wrong thing, and it's not
Yeah, I
because
do it all
it
the time.
necessarily is the
Like
wrong
Nancy
thing.
says the wrong thing, but you two are always on a case.
There's a difference between trying
She's
to do
annoying.
something and being tactless. And Nancy, sorry, does not have a lot of tact. No matter how much I like her, she just does not. But the thing is that like sometimes it just like even if it's quote not the wrong thing, if it's not right for the person at that time, in that moment, in that experience, it's still the wrong thing. So like I get that it was not, it went over like a lead balloon, but like I don't think it's like a huge, like, oh my God, Sheila, how dare you? You know what I mean? She was trying.
No.
No, I get she was trying, but I do think she did put a foot.
It was the wrong thing at any point to ever say to
I
you.
agree, but how are you going to know every single
Yeah.
time? No one can know all the time what's going to work and what's not. You know what I mean?
Well,
And I
I
like
just
to
Can't.
see-
No one's psychic like that. I'm sorry. Despite
Well,
the
yeah, I've met me.
Yeah.
I'm very emotionally in tune.
It's
Cyril.
so obviously
you
the wrong
guys
thing to
just
say.
don't even get me started on this. Okay.
What do you mean? I've never said anything wrong. I don't know what you're about. So Cyril,
No. Okay. For the sake of the
hey,
episode, I'm gonna let
just
it
really
go.
quick for listeners, just really quick, that parcel that I've been going on about sending, it bloody
Oh,
turned back up
yes.
here today, and they've got
Yes.
proof of it being sent in January. It's just turned back up at my house. I think it's because I've got Horlicks in and drugs. Anyway,
But no,
so
but
Cyril,
what was the message on it? I couldn't look at the picture. What did it say?
It said like undeliverable to sender or
return
something.
to sender, unclaimed, unable to forward. So I think Jen got a thing through a post. It's just never turned
I
up
do
for it.
as well. I think this is on you, Jen.
Listeners, if you could see my face, if you could see my freaking face right now.
Anyway, so Cyril asks Mojo how to make it better, which was a really, really touching scene. And I know you love Cyril, but that was
I love
touching
the
and good.
Cyril Mojo bond.
Yeah. And he was saying he feels the loss of his child too. Like, I feel the loss of our child too. But a man must be strong. And Mojo's like, no, speak to us. Sometimes we show our true strength by acknowledging our weakness, which was bloody wise words there, by the way.
Yeah. And at this point, now we're getting to the point where Sheila speaks to Sister Julienne and says, it's awkward laughter. She speaks to Sister Julienne and she thinks that she doesn't want to speak out of turn, but she thinks that Lucille is struggling and she thinks she should go on district rounds.
Yeah.
And Sister Julienne says it didn't occur to her that midwifery might be too demanding. What?
Yeah.
That was a really surprising miss on Sister Julienne's part, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'll give you that much. Yeah, I was kind of like, wait,
well, she did do a big whole thing where she was like, your state of mind concerns me. A midwife who has no... Sorry, I'm doing like a weird, calm Sister Julienne voice, so it's not going very well. But a midwife who has lost a baby is something I have never known. This has all been so new to me. Ugh, Lucille's face in that moment, by the way, can I just say, was insanely good, the acting there. Like, her face acting was like this most moving... Oh, honestly, it was absolutely outstanding. I was.
Girls, do you think this actress either has gone through this herself or has some kind of personal connection to this story?
I don't know. She's just a bloody good actress, I think.
I mean, she could be. She definitely could be. I'm not saying she's not, but you just kind of wonder because, like, sometimes people tap into something, you know.
Well, I don't know.
I'm curious. I'm just curious.
But she was bloody good. And then Sister Julienne was very calm, being like, we're going to move you to district, but you will heal in time because we always do. And then the bit that I really liked was Lucille and Cyril talking about it. Now, I didn't like the start of it.
Because you will heal because we always do. Well, no, sometimes people don't get over things.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, she's got faith, hasn't she? So she's got to think that. Otherwise, why would she have faith? And also, humans are very adaptable.
There's a lot of people that are off the mark this episode.
Well, Lucille and Cyril talk.
Wow, Bex.
Lucy, it's
just
very
like
late,
the judge and
guys,
jury on everyone's ability to do anything today. My God.
You know what? This is the
Except
product
Nancy.
of recording late.
Yeah. This is a tester. So Lucille and Cyril start talking, and Lucille's very off with him at first. And she's like, he's like, I spoke to Mojo, and she's like, you had no right. And he's like, well, it seems I have no right to speak inside these walls either. When you're ready, I'll be there. And basically, that actually did kind of get them to actually talk, and that was good. I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to predict the future, but do you think this is the beginning of the end for Lucille and Cyril?
Yep.
Which is really sad. It's really, really sad.
They're not good. This actually, to your point, Bex, this is the thing they're never going to get over this.
Yeah. So i.e. they've not healed.
No, I mean, and
look at that. No, Jen, she's trying to make a point about not healing. Yeah. Anyway,
I don't even know why I bother you guys. I'm not gonna say anything else. I'm done.
Should we talk about measles vaccination?
Oh my God, Dr. Turner. Ugh. The thing is, here's the thing, and I'm not going to get political, but I'm a little bit for just one quick second.
Oh, let's do it.
If you're in America and you're following the news at all, you know that our healthcare system is like very, it's a rough place, and that our Secretary of Health and Human Services has now is now
a bit woo-woo.
Yeah, well, I mean, I hate to use such a lovely term for such a horrible person, but our public health is like really under threat, and I am very concerned about vaccine policy for the United States. And to watch this scene and Dr. Turner's kind of zealousness was, to me, it was very cheesy, and I felt like he was doing a lot of it was irritating because he's like, well, we can just run this group and we can just do this thing. And if we just vaccinate 500 kids in the next 2 months, then we can show them. And I'm like, well, who do you think's going to do the vaccinations, Dr. Turner? Who do you think's going to organize it all? Who do you think's going to run it all?
You just know the rest of the board eye rolling.
Yeah. But at the same time, I was like, thank God someone gives two poops about this, because, basically their thing is well, the public doesn't know and they're not that jazzed about it. And until you get them jazzed about it, this isn't going to really take off. And I was like, okay, well, for as kind of, I don't know, annoying as Dr. Turner was being, I did appreciate that this is the kind of medical enthusiasm that we need, and that God knows in this country we need right now. So,
I did like the effort they put together for this measles vaccination, and it was Miss Higgins, Sister Hilda, Dr. Turner, and Nancy, right? Yeah. And they were like, it's onerous but achievable if we think positively. Yep. And I thought, well, it bloody won't be Turner doing any of that work.
No, it won't be.
Well, that's my point. He's gonna pledge them to do everything, and he's not gonna do jack squat for it. He'll just be like, can I have my cup of tea now? Where's my Bickies?
Sheila, you're doing too much, Sheila. Put it in the drawer, Sheila. But they put Lucille on the job, and I thought, yes, my doing.
That's a good effort for her, yeah.
Really good. I loved it. where Miss Higgins was like, Dr. Turner is creating the 13th labor of Hercules. We need all the help we can get. Absolutely love that line.
Yeah. Well, and I'll give him this. Like, he's always like just so down bad for Sheila that like anything she does, he's really into it. Now, granted, she's doing everything, so I mean, it's easy for him, but like still, like, you know, you gotta hand it to him. He's like, oh, like, you know, he just like always like beaming whenever he sees her, you know, so.
Basically, the whole culmination of this storyline is basically they were getting a load of kids vaccinated, but Lucille speaks to her mum about measles because some of the mums were against doing the vaccination. She's like, they just had so many, and she's like, you know, talking about losing a child, and this opens up the floodgates for Lucille to then speak to Cyril in the end, and then writes a I love you note in a sandwich. So they are kind of getting back on track.
I did love the I love you note.
Yeah,
sometimes you need that. Sometimes you gotta say it out loud, you know what I mean?
I've never put a I love you note. Do you know what, actually? My daughter this morning was like, you never put notes on my sandwiches anymore, because I used to do some occasionally. And I said, it's because you complained that it was cringe and didn't want them anymore. She said,
like, but you were supposed to know that I didn't really mean that, Mummy.
Do you know what you should do? Because it's her birthday on Friday, you should put a happy birthday one in.
I'm going to, and I'm also doing like I'm getting some nice things.
Oh my gosh, wait, can I tell you guys something really cute that my nephew said to me? They were visiting not that long ago. I mean, it feels like a long time ago now, but it really wasn't that long ago. But we were like hanging out with them, and it was me and my mom and the two of them, and we were sitting on the couch, and it was just kind of like getting to be like midday. I was like, is it lunch? Is it, you know, what are we doing? Like, are we, you know, because like my sister and brother-in-law were out and we weren't sure when they were going to be back. And so we're sitting there with the boys, and I'm like, do you guys want a snack? And they were like, yeah, we want a snack, because we turned on the TV. And I was like, okay. I'm like, well, what do you guys want? But they were already kind of fixated. And so I turned to one of them. I'm like, hey, I'm like, you know, I'm like, do you want anything? He's like, yeah, you know, whatever. Like, he was so gone. And then I turned to my other nephew, and I'm like, okay, well, like, what do you want? Can you tell me what you want? And he was like, and he looked at me. It's so sweet. He goes, no, I want you to know. And he just had this like really earnest, and he was like, I want you to know. And then he like turned back to TV, and I was like, okay. And I made them a snack, and they did love it, and they ate everything, and they were like, yeah, this is what I like this.
I want other people to know what I want, because
I know. I know. And I just thought, oh my God, like, and he like,
Oh, speaking of in the fields,
really
guys,
got me.
Timothy going away to university with his duffel coat on.
But you guys, like, okay, this is the thing that kind of drives me crazy. Why were Dr. Turner and Sheila like stood so far apart from each other and from him when he was leaving?
Because of COVID.
I know, but you can't, it doesn't make sense anymore.
It does make sense still, and you need to just deal with it.
It doesn't. Sheila is 2 inches away from that lady's vag giving birth, and like she literally can't even hug her son in the scene.
It's not a real vagina.
I can't with the closeness in some and then the far away in the other. It's.
I mean, I don't know the
I'm not here for this.
I don't know the medical how much COVID gets spread from vaginas. I don't.
I know it's for a reason, but I don't.
There's not a lot of airflow through a vagina. Oh, also Trixie sent an aerogram. Her godmother's still in hospital, so she's still out there.
Yeah, she's not coming back. Not
also,
for a while.
You know, when they were talking about the build-up of district home visits right at the start, and they were saying, we're going to have to be strict with time when it was Sister Hilda. I thought, oh my God, it's going to be like another Sister Ursula story.
Oh, wait, which one was Sister Ursula's story?
That horrible woman who came in and was like, my husband died. Was
Yeah. No, but it wasn't in the end. I just thought it was crazy when she was like, oh, she's like, you know, like, here's what made me crazy was she walked in and she's like, okay, everyone stop talking already. And then she goes, oh yeah, by the way, like, I know we're really short staffed, so can all of you do 2 more visits a day? And I was like, man.
Yeah, but that reminded me of that. And I thought, oh my God, something terrible is going to happen because of neglect, like Sister Ursula. But it didn't happen. Just like Matthew didn't burn down the building.
Luckily.
Well, was it luckily? Has anyone got anything else to say on any of the other storylines?
No.
Straight to the point. Shall we do heroes and zeros then?
Yeah, let's do it.
My 0 is going to be, oh God, I'm really torn.
Go for it.
I'm really torn between Sheila and Sister Julianne. Was anyone going to have one of those?
Nope.
As a 0?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't have given either one of them a 0.
Okay, I'll give it to Sheila then for that tactless comment about Teddy.
You are so merciless. I cannot even.
And then my hero is going to be...
Can I just say one thing? I think it's good that it shows the light and the shade, Jen. You're the light, she's the shade. I'm in the middle.
My hero is going to be Miss Higgins.
Oh,
explain why.
Well, I think Dr. Turner wasn't the driving force behind that measles vaccine.
I thought you meant because of the spiritualist church.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was going for.
Well, there's two fronts. I think she's the driving force.
100%
behind the measles vaccination drive, and also for guiding Sister Monica Joan to the spiritualist healer, because perhaps that was the purpose of the Raven, to bring Sister Monica Joan to Mrs. Greenhalgh.
Yeah, so she could get treatment.
Yeah.
Twist.
And then see Mr. Greenhalgh, your son. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Now, there's lots more deserving zeros than this, but I'm just going with it because it really annoyed me. The GCSE. What in the GCSE drama acting is this? Clover was fantastic. It was Jojo. I've not seen it in Hollywood. Surprise there. And it was Jojo and the girl with him. And I was just like, oh, for God's sake. Was that an name?
Can you imagine if he booked this job, whoever the actor was, and it was like, oh, I have this big break, I'm so excited. Oh. And then the episode comes out and his agent's like, and we're not really gonna be able to do anything else.
This isn't gonna be on your show reel.
No.
So that was my zero.
Yeah.
My hero is going to be, who is my hero gonna be? See,
Fred, Matthew. Maybe I should have gone Fred.
No, well, I love Fred. I was going to actually say Lucille because I feel like she did a stellar job of helping with the measles vaccination.
Oh, I see. You were going to say for just soldiering on.
Well, but also for trying to move on and stuff. I just think she did an outstanding job, and I think it's an absolutely worst. I just can't even imagine. So to actually even be able to function is outstanding. So yeah, I'm going to say Lucille.
Right on.
Right on, Jojo.
Yeah, groovy, my dude. Like, what a good choice. Party on. Okay, my zero. I didn't even see it because I had my eyes closed. But the face wound on the spiritualist lady, I remember it being...
That was very nearly my zero.
That I remember it being horrible.
I have to say this. You're judging me for having Sheila's comment. But you want to have your zero as being somebody's, I don't even know what the word is.
You're going to have to, I'm not helping you with this long walk your backs. You're going to have to.
I just cannot believe that you would judge me so much for my zero and that's your zero.
Why?
Because she can't help that she's got this awful
I'm not blaming her. I'm just saying it's a yucky.
It's like, horrible. She's saying it's horrible.
It's a yucky wound.
Like it's a carbuncle.
It's gross. I'm not saying anything against the poor lady. I'm just saying like
it's a horrible condition.
Yeah, and it was really
unfortunate. A zero. It's not going to be a hero, Bex.
No, but a bit of compassion for her.
You're on your own, ma'am. Please edit this out. Okay, then my hero.
Don't edit any.
Okay.
Listen,
my zeros are my zeros, okay?
True.
My zeros are my
zeros.
I judged it when we were in discussion.
We were still in discussion.
Stop it, guys. Hero now, please.
I want to give my hero to Cyril because, I mean, I always love him.
Because he's hot.
I always love him, but I do think he's incredibly loving and supportive and emotionally intelligent, and I think he is suffering just like Lucille, and not just no, he's not suffering just like Lucille, but he is suffering in his own way with the loss that he and Lucille have had, and I think he is trying to navigate a way through it and turn towards her and keep connected with her and deal with his own grief, but be sensitive to her different kind of grief, and I do love him, but I think this week, like, he earned extra attention, so.
Yeah, a little bit.
Mm-hmm. There you go. That's my opinion. That's my thought.
Now, can you two just say you love each other for the...
We do.
We do. We do always.
It's very late.
It's true.
It is late. And we've all had very long and big days, so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
This is the sisterly cat fighting that we always do after all of our years together.
Oh, this could be the last podcast that ever has.
Bex always says this. She's just so dramatic. So dramatic.
Bex is being like the spiritualist where she's like, I sense a dark tide is coming. I sense something terrible will happen.
Now I'm hoping to get this out this weekend. We've had a lot of issues with getting stuff out, mainly caused by my migraine and trying to get that. It's a long story.
Poor thing.
We're hoping to get this out this weekend. So Anyway, yeah. So, because we've just got loads of stuff coming up. It's Bob's birthday this weekend. Spoiler alert, everyone. We're going to Harry Potter World on Saturday.
Oh, wait a minute. Are
Do you know
we?
if she's going?
Yeah, she knows.
Okay, that's fine. Because I've written "Have fun at Harry Potter World" in her card, and then I was like, maybe I've just ruined that for her.
No,
Oh.
she knows.
Wait, are we not recording this weekend?
Let's talk about this off the pod. So next week we will listen.
It's a window into how the sausage gets made.
Yeah. Next week we will be recording series 11, episode 7. So if you'd like to watch along and listen to us, in the meantime, also follow us on everything. We've also got a TikTok that Becky hasn't done anything with yet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you need to do that. Yeah. So that I haven't forgot about all the other, social media. Follow us, like us, all that stuff. And we'll see you next week. Thank you so much for listening.
Bye-bye.
Bye.